All right, hey, thanks for tuning into this stream. It's been a while. I realize it's been about almost 2 weeks since I did a stream. I can't believe that happened. Last week I had to miss out because we had some major storms that rolled through the Midwest area, and I didn't have power for 24 hours. Could have been worse. We know a few folks down the block who didn't have it for like 36 or so. So could be worse. So I'll be doing some Drupal-rector development again. This contribution stream is brought to you by, or sponsored by, Palantir.net. Well, brought to you by too, via me via Palantir.net. They are a remote-first agile company that gives back to the Drupal project and community. Like this development stream, they're sponsoring my time to work on this project. Drupal-rector will help make the Drupal 9 to 10 upgrade even easier by fixing deprecated code. If you are looking for a job, a Drupal job, they have an opening for a Drupal engineer. You can learn more and apply at their website, www.palantir.net. Awesome, thanks for the pump up, because man, sometimes this has been a particular, not drag, but it's very tedious for a lot of these. So I actually need to even get my code up to date because it has been a while. So I'm gonna do let's check out main, do fetch. I'm gonna do git fetch upstream. So that will for those who aren't familiar with git, git fetch basically says, hey, go talk to this URL upstream, which is the Palantir repo. It says, tell me all the git objects that are available, and then you can do a git rebase upstream main, so it'll rebase against there. Yes, this is PHP Storm. I have paid for PHP Storm since 2015, 14 maybe. And I pay for the full I do the full stack. I do the full toolbox. I think it costs like 200 a year or something. Now, every time when you pay for it and keep using it, it gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And I think I might have some kind of like grandfathered in like amount because I paid for PHP Storm before they went the full like toolbox thing. But I use it. I love it. It makes me really fast at what I need to do. So I'm going to do a push origin to main. All right, so everything's synced up and should be good. I'm gonna first just go over to the pull request here and see what's going on. Let's see. So it helps fix this issue. Why do we got a failure? Why is this a failure? Push uninstall composer. Ah, here we go. We have a weird problem with on pushes. So let me find that original issue. Push. Here we go. So it looks like I'm going to try to fix this really quick. No, don't try to upload anything. This is failing due to this issue. Pushes get weird. I'll try to quick fix. All right. So why don't since this is actually becoming a pain, let's try to solve this. I wonder if, let's see, github.com. If I push to a branch, it should fail too, right? Yes. All right. I can test this. So let's go ahead and take that issue number. I'm going to do git new branch. I have that as an alias. New branch fix on push. So what's going on is I don't know how to click. Our GitHub failures, workflows. Which one was it again? The rector sandbox. No. Right. So rector sandbox. Blah blah blah. So where does it fail? Install composer. Oh, so here it is. So we had this weird thing where we needed to get, actually, so we have this. There's a Rector sandbox, this DDev project that can be used to run Rector and develop it locally if you're writing rules or just testing it. And we had problems in pull requests getting it to update correctly to pull in a dependency. Because if we look somewhere, it knows to pull from the local directory. Actually, never mind. Yes. So inside of, let's go Palantir, and come on, history. There we go. Drupal-rector sandbox. So develop rector. It clones Drupal-rector into a subdirectory, or into the Drupal-rector directory, and then composer.json knows to look there via the path. So I wonder if we change this to be just an asterisk, it would work. I'm glad you guys are tuning in, even though you're busy. Appreciate it. So the problem we had before is targeting that one git commit didn't seem to be doing the right thing. So I think if we change this to an asterisk, it will take whatever is currently available in that directory. Yeah, so let's try this. Let's update the commit issue number. Use over SHA for sandbox test. So let's do a commit and push. And then we'll pop open a pull request. Oh, feels good to be working on this again. Everything's a little wild. Like, I can't believe it's already August 18th. I don't know where the month has gone. So submit. Right click to copy the URL. July and June felt like 5 years, but August has just been full steam ahead. And it's not like there's even been a lot that's happened. It's just been a normal month here. Well, okay. Air quotes normal. There's been no emergencies. It's just been doing summer stuff. Feature is not directly testable, but fixes pushes on branches. Yeah, I'm hoping massive storms are not the new normal. I think I finally got all the sticks cleaned up out of my yard. Well, the dogs did. So our dogs find the sticks because they're our branch manager. And then I finally took them out to the curb. All right. So let's see. Event. So this should be the one. If this passes, we'll be good. Let's go here. Here is a flow on my fork for the push event. All right, that passed. So install Composer. Let's just make sure. Palantir. Can I link there? Yes. Link to output. To put to the output. And let's just copy that right here. we can see it is installing the correct Git object. Words are hard. All right, so that should fix this one up. Needs review. There, make sure I tag Palantir. And then let's cross-reference the failure for the push should be fixed by blah. Would need to rebase once merged. But let's just see. Clean up internal function doc mismatches. Oh, I was horrible. Let's say approve. Thank you for catching this. I was in such a mad dash before I messed this up, which I did. I didn't pay attention to anything. I was copy pasting like a madman. All right, so that's one of them. Okay, so clean up internal functions. Adds assert legacy and other new items to the index. Oh, this is causing some other failures. The push failure for rector sandbox. Rector sandbox will be fixed by blah and a rebase when merged. But let's look at why this is actually failing. So 3 failing. What we can do is let's check it back out to main. Oh, get checkout main. And we'll use GitHub PR checkout. What's the number? 170. So I was able to check out this branch locally. The problem is that I don't have push access, so I'll have to make changes on my fork and make a pull request against this branch for him to merge in for this one. But Phpunit is failing, so let's figure out why that's happening. But first, what version of PHP do I... Oh, I can't type. PHP version is 8. I don't remember if that breaks this or not. Let's just see. All right, run composer update. That's all good to go. Let's just do... Just run the tests. And why doesn't it show run? Well, I got to open my preferences really quick. All right, so we've got... That's okay. Test frameworks. Phpunit's there. Run. Why am I not... Oh, because it's indexing. I can't run anything because it's indexing. So let's just see what... Oh, the failures are on PHP 8. Not. So let's look here. On PHP 8, it's failing. YAML was not valid. This is often caused by unescaped quotes, unexpected characters near XPath. So let's look here. We need to use some double quotes because we have single quotes in there. So this is the deprecation index test. Run. Let's just review this quick. What line was that? 441. So it has a single quote inside of it. No, it doesn't. That's not the right line. It's 437. We have to double quote the string since it has single quotes in the deprecation message. And we'll do request changes. Boom. All right, so now that it's done indexing, I can... No, not debug. I don't want to debug. Stop. Let's run it as argument. Oh, sweet. Actually, now that it's done indexing, PHP Storm is highlighting all the broken YAML. So let's see if I can do some multi-cursor action. Holding on Option and click to get multiple cursors. I don't know what the key is on Windows or anything else, but Command plus Option is multi-key, and that is the same in VS Code if I'm remembering correctly. Use the when the is in the deprecation message. Sorry, I realized I didn't actually use any words when I said that. So it's use apostrophe when a single quote is in the deprecation message. So I have to push this. Permission. Oh yeah, I can't push to the upstream. So git push origin 3224919. And now we're going to do PR create. No, let's copy the URL. I don't know like if I should do it this way or not. Okay, yeah. Fixes missing items. Fixes YAML failures and blah. Like, I know people look at the drupal.org workflow of patches and go, ugh, patches. But to me, this is like the most annoying thing in the world, that somebody made a pull request and I want to help contribute to it to fix it. I have to fork their fork and make a pull request against their fork for them to merge it and then update their fork's pull request. Luckily, at least on Drupal.org, with our merge request flow with GitLab, anybody can request access to push to the branch. So that way a pull request is actually collaborative. That's nice. This is insanity in my opinion, and I can't believe this is how a lot of folks do open source contributions. Because it's very hard to have people working on the same thing unless they all have shared access to some other fork. Yeah. And how would you get your nested? Yeah, it's a lot. Like, I'm sure people are used to it, but as I work with a lot of my Laravel stuff, there's just forks out there, and nothing ever really gets put to the upstream. It's like, oh, forked and copied, and there's like dead pull requests that are there. It's just not very... It's hard for someone to just start something, and when they get busy, somebody else to finish it up. And that's what I really do love about the Drupal contribution flow, is it's not up to one person to start, finish, and drive it home. Somebody can start it. Somebody else who has the enthusiasm can bring it home. Because I have that a lot of times, like Drupal core. I've got a bug. I can get it fixed, but I don't have time for the politics of merging something into core. By politics, I mean proving why it should land. Like, usually I don't have that effort, but there are people like they are really good at that. And I can come make adjustments as needed, but I don't have the time to sit necessarily and really vie for the fix. You can have a more collaborative open source contribution area by doing that. Yeah, trivial fixes, great. Big features, no, I don't know. just too hard. Maybe there's some secret sauce that others have figured out, but again, like looking at Laravel, it's not like a lot of, they're very single one contributors to one thing. Not like on Drupal.org where you see that's like, hey, 5 people wrote the code for this. It is very different in the Drupal land compared to the other communities. Made a fix and blah. This is a PR to your branch, so it'll update this PR. Although I could have just made, I don't know. I guess that could have just been its own because it made everything green, but whatever. All right. Triaging. So that fixes YAML. That fixes on push. This. Git pod. Let's look at that really quick. Fix these. And then it's on to the actual Drupal.org issues. This adds Git pod. Let's review it. So if you haven't used Git pod, I'll click the button so we can try it out. Git pod is pretty sweet. It's somewhat similar to what GitHub has just rolled out. If you click so if you press period, I press period on my keyboard, it launches up like I think they call these like dev containers, maybe? I don't know. But they've made it where you can launch VS Code in the cloud and do a handful of things. There's something with using Brave. Let's see. Yeah, when using Brave, I can't get the service worker to implement, but it's beyond the point. I could come in here and I could actually edit this code and it'll show up as something here and I can make commits. That's GitHub's thing. Gitpod is a service that is your whole IDE in the cloud, which is pretty cool because it runs Docker. Like you can run DDEV or Lando if you wanted to. So I'm going to quick just review this and give it a try. Drupal website for testing. Yep, it's Git. So it's more here. I'll launch it. So it's kind of like GitLab's web IDE, but actually, I don't know what will happen if I click this. There was no refer found. So it's gonna be in the fork. Click on that. Where's the links? There's links at the bottom, but I don't see them, probably because I can't push to it. So let's go find here. Drupal-rector. So go to dashboard. Let's see. Guess new workspace. Recent. Select example. This is proving to be a little bit more to try out than I thought. Git pod. So if I copy this link and I go to gitpod.io, no. I give up. I'm not going to review it. Or I'll give it a quicker review, but I can't try it out, so I'm not going to go down that hole. So this sets up the DDEV images and the badge. And this sets up a Drupal site. IMO, in my opinion. Yeah. So GitLab is actually now going to be integrating with Gitpod. So it's not just the web IDE, which lets you edit things. Like it actually will let you run a Docker container. And Shaul has done a few, or Ofer has done a few videos, like demoing using Xdebug and VS Code with a site running in DDEV. It's wild. this should go to the Drupal-rector sandbox and not this repo, just because it has a lot of extras. Technically, developing Drupal-rector just requires a git clone, but this git pod setup does much more. That's my one concern, is to really develop with Drupal-rector, you just need to do a composer install on this and then write tests, but this is adding like a default website and a full like Drupal environment, and that's a lot to have to copy. And this is just more code to have to maintain. That, yeah, I'd rather just see like opening git pod and it opens the repo. Like if we do, great, I'm going back at it. So new workspace, recent. So gitpod.io / £. I'm just more mad because I can't figure this out. Like, prefix a git repo URL with gitpod blah. That's what I did, and it didn't work. Like this. Oh, hey, because I didn't put a £sign in the URL. All right, so we'll just look at it this way. And also just linking HTTPS was a gitpod.io is very sufficient. So here we go. So here's gitpod. For some reason with me, the font aliasing is jacked up and the terminal it provides. But if I wanted to come in here, they do things with your GitHub access token that allows you to do commits. But if I wanted to, I did not check out that one. I did not check out the right repository. So it might not work, but I have a full IDE in here. If we did Docker PS, we have Docker images if we wanted to run it. Now I can do the whole composer install. And this is all in the cloud via the runner. There's some way that you can actually launch PHP Storm as well. Yeah, so that's that. It's neat if you haven't tried out Gitpod. All right, so I reviewed this. We have a failure. Tests are failing due to 166. And I cannot rebase this. And I'm not a maintainer, so I can't. So let's do, can you rebase this against main? I think GitHub has added buttons to do so. Not from the PR screen. Let's see. Drupal-rector. Branch patch 7. Maybe by viewing there is a button. Let's try something. So contribute. This branch is 1 commit ahead and 12 commits behind. Contribute open pull request. That's interesting. Wait. Why did it just bring me back? Hold the phone. I want to reverse this. I thought it was gonna what? Contribute. Oh, to contribute your changes upstream. I thought I'm dumb. I thought this was like gonna like let me make a reverse pull request, which I can do. So base repository. Let's do rector base main. Oh, you can't open a reverse pull request to like. All right. Well, I can't contribute to this. It just needs a rebase. I'll comment that on the issue too. So let's change this to needs work. PR branch needs a rebase against main. All right. So now let's go through the issue queue. So with drupal-rector, we're doing issue queue management on drupal.org. So that way we can have issue credits, Palantir is sponsoring time. So this way they get recognized for their contributions. And also, so we can try to do communication there and linking of things. And then all code is contributed on GitHub. All right, so let's get through this issue queue. I know there's a lot little things to do, but let's just go through. I'm just going to start going through this. Awesome. Thanks for subscribing, Will Makes TV. Appreciate that. All right, so I went through this one. That's triaged. I just did this. Let's look at the deprecation index YAML. Has not been kept up to date. I'd like to process verify the deprecation in. Add in the above. Awesome, thank you. I appreciate that. It helps. Some days I'm like, but the little like little thanks and motivators help out a lot. This I'd like to process. Let's see. Okay. So this is out of date. In place too. The upsell project bot. So there's all the things. Yep, I think someone are coded by that. Everything I could. The PHP stand sections are supposed to contain full output from PHP stand itself. Most of them are new. I went through the commits. I found a lot. So I think this goes back to. Why is this complaining at me? No. Origin. Yeah. Okay, so I went through the list provided and verified that most of them are new. When I went through the commits, I found a lot of the rule definition constructors misrepresent what they cover. Yes. All right. You know what? I'm just going to keep adding it to here. So let's do assert equal rector. So assert equal. Assert equal pass rector appears to, it covers that, but it's meant to cover pass, not assert equal. Then it will cover. So let's look at rector, deprecations, the pass rector. Here we go. So it is actually fixing pass. So fixes deprecated assert legacy calls pass, which then we have to update this deprecation index. And that's not added. So pass rector is missing, which if we're doing alphabetical, I want to find a way to like automate this creation, because this is kind of bonkers having to manage this. But so assert legacy trait pass rector. How to automate this? Did I say automate? Yeah, it's one like I've really meant to do it. So we should be able to we could create some kind of interface and reflection to automatically generate this YAML file based off the known rectors. But I haven't bothered with it because it seems like so much work that I don't know if it will come to fruition or not. All right. As we could automate that says, like, what is the thing that's deprecated? What is the PHP send message? No, I don't think it would lower the barrier. The only thing that uses this YAML file is Gabor for the upgrade status module in the project bot. So it's just like a repository of data. So like I don't think it would lower the barrier to contribution, but it could lower the barrier to maintenance. But it's like a really low burden that right now would be neat to fix later, but I'm not sure if it's worth it now. So get raw content. I usually like to automate all the things, but it's like for this project, I just feel like it might be a sunk cost. Not a sunk cost. It might not give the kind of returns I'm expecting for the amount of effort that might have to go into parsing all the rules, and then we're gonna have to write all the data into the rules then, and it's like, is it worth doing that versus just updating the YAML when we need to? And add to index. I'm just going to leave that one there. And then origin. Yeah, so I'm going to just ignore this for now. I think we should get this pull request merged and then settle up what is missing. $16. I wish at symbols actually worked, but they don't. Or everything in 16 up to date with needed PHP stand messages needing to be changed. Wait, it's up to date with needed PHP stand messages to be changed. That's better words. All right, let's go on to the next one. Clean up internal function documentation. That's there. Clean up documentation of past rector. Oh, I just... the simple test. So here, best I can tell, it might be test-based pass. There is a pass method on assert legacy trait, and it comes from the old simple test base. Simple test itself is deprecated. Yeah. So is the method on the assert helper trait that bridged simple test to PHP unit. So why don't I actually take this git log? I'm gonna take this commit, and I guess I should just okay, maybe that needs just better review. Sites, Drupal core dev. I should be on 9.0 if I do PHP storm. All right. Drupal, oof. Drupal pays them bills. That's for sure. All right, so let's find... Pass is going to find everything. So I'm going to do function pass. And let's see if I can find out where that deprecated usage is from. Let's do whole... I'm going to change this. Wait, so let's look at the pass rector. However, this is not scoped to a parent class, so it could be very detrimental. If I can spell Grammarly, did I do it right? I did. No, it's not. So that could, which could be very detrimental. So find usages. This is the deprecated method. So let's do copy the reference. And we will look at this api.drupal.org link and see if we can 8. Oh, because it was in 8.9.x, that's why. So 9.0 assert legacy trait. Let's hope that's the right one. Nope, that's in search. Oh no, I am searching. Kernel test, here we go. Location, trait, pass. See there. All right, so let's go ahead and improve the pass rector. So I'm going to I'm going to copy that commit hash really quick, and make a new issue. So let's do git checkout main, get new branch, issue number, fix up pass rector. Let's try to harden that a little bit. I'm going to take that commit hash. That's one problem, but merge con cherry pick abort. So one problem is that the constructor has copy paste issues, but actually if somebody, my other concern is that if somebody has a method called pass, it's going to remove it on them. When we should be making sure that it's the pass method from assert legacy trait. That's my concern right now. But yeah, otherwise it's not really that big of a deal. But I want to be sure I don't hose somebody. Which at the same time, we need people to start testing it to figure out what it hoses, because that was a lot of boilerplate code that had to be added and adjusted. Man, how are you failing? All right. That's what I get for pushing stuff to a branch when it was really scoped. So let me just copy this here, and I'm going to try to fix up this code. So we need to double escape that. Git commit AV, add to deprecation index, and fix definition doc. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to recheck this out, git checkout, git log. I'm going to do a git rebase I, and I'm going to drop this commit. Ah, crap. Git reset hard origin 322491. Delete and D for drop, if I remember right. Yep, D for drop. I'm going to remove that commit. Git log. So we just have that. Git push F. Git push F origin 32249119. All right, so that should put this pull request back to one commit. Awesome. All right, so let's get back to this issue. That's why I always take the issue ID and prefix the branch with it, because it makes it really easy to bounce behind. So I do that even with client work. It's always ticket ID dash summary, because that makes it really easy to just search for it and then also know, like, oh, if there's multiple branches for a ticket, like, what's the context? All right, so let's go to our tests, because we should have tests for this. The pass rector, fixture, pass, browser test base. Ooh, this is one I gotta fix. Did we here we go. I need to fix that one. I've found the problem. It's due to the browser test base stub provided for our own PHP unit. This gets loaded before Drupal's PHP unit bootstrapping. So we need to update we need to update our code autoload to code auto load dev. Before I fix pass rector, I want to get this thing because that should help Gabor with the upgrade status module and not be broke anymore. So composer, this one little line. Actually, let's stub it out here first to make sure. So it's autoload dev. So yeah, okay, so we just gotta copy this out to there. So let's do a good old cut and a paste. Only load stubs in autoload dev. In dev, prevents stubs used for testing from breaking end users Phpunit tests for Drupal. And we'll link this issue. Create a pull request. Steps to test. Check out. Run a functional test in core. No errors. I guess that's a good way to test it. All right, there. Quick fix that. One thing, this browser test base in our stubs, I feel like we need to have this actually do more. So let's so let's look at browser test base test. No, not browser test base test. Browser test base extends test case. Great, we have that. What we should have it do is use assert legacy trait. Which, so this comes from here. And that means we need to create a new folder called functional tests and create a new file called assert legacy trait. We're going to stub all this out. Namespace is functional tests. So if class exists, bail out. So this is trait. Trait, assert legacy trait. So the reason we're doing this is that it's creating stubs. We can't actually add Drupal as a dependency. So we're creating stub files. And these stubs are auto-loaded, and all they let us do is have just really basic information. They won't actually have the code in it, but it's just like some generic code that can then be auto-loaded and detected. So we need a new directory called kernel tests with a new file of assert legacy trait. What's somewhat annoying, but it's not annoying, it's PHP stand allows this too, but it's like you just define interfaces. But with Rector, you have to actually add it to the autoloader. And let's see what they did for Symphony. It's like here, twig. So this, they just define like the classes. So that way you can do like class inspection. But I wonder what they do when there's actually methods that are needed. So yeah, this creates stubs for the interfaces, but you know what? I want to see nothing has methods in it. Well, we'll just start with this. Open embrace, blah, 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 blah. So now we have this kind of mocked up. Pass. I guess what we could do is this is in the kernel test. Assert legacy trait. Oh, typo. All right. So we've got this. So we have this trait here. Now let's go back to where I was. Let's rewind a quick second. The idea is that we want our fixtures to extend the cases and allow us to determine that the pass method came from this trait, because that's where it originates from. So we should be able to do that now. So if I click on this pass, we get to our stub. So went down the rabbit hole. Hopefully we're coming back up right now. So let's go ahead and we'll run the test. But I actually want to also here. So if the node name is here, 1 second, somewhere, parent. Oh, we got to invoke this thing. 1 second, let me do some more copy paste. And when I say this thing is the parent class scope resolver class. Oh, that's right. We're not forcing PHP 7.4, so I can't use that. It's auto wired, so get all options, parent class names. Let's just drop that here. Resolve parent class name. See, there's got to be in the scope resolver. There's only one. Node analyzer. Oh well. All right, so now I'm going to run the test. I'm going to debug it. And the goal is to hit right here. The first boot takes a bit. Oh. Oh, right, because I need to run update or dump the autoloader. I'll just run update. So I needed to redump the autoloader because it made a static class map. So when you do this option where it says class map, this is what actually gets generated. Here, we'll go into the composer files, autoload class map. So see here, Drupal test browser test base directory. So it found all the files in there and said, here's how you find them. So that's why that failed. Let's run the debugger. It should be fixed. All right, so what's the parent class name? Browser test base. What I'd really love to be able to do is see if we can find out that it was passed from that trait. So this attributes class name, the class node. This is the class node. Parent is the method call. Name is pass, args. We have the arguments there, attributes, the scope, original node, parent. The parent is the expression. Method node. Let's see. So we're in the method call here. Those are the method node. Method call, class method, magic names, no. Name is example. What? Oh, because that's the method we're in. So in the test, example is the method name. PHP doc info, current expression, previous expression, file. The use node's the method node. Original node. So the name is pass, attributes, special class names we can't get to. So in the attributes, again, I just want to see if we can figure out that this is the pass method from those traits. Parent. All right, so that's the parent is the method call. Let's see if we can look inside the scope. This is the node, arguments, scope, context, class reflection, the display name, declaring traits. All right, there we go. So somehow through the PHP stand scope, we should be able to get that we're in this class. How? No idea. No, so there's got to be something. So the scope. Let's first check here. Scope. Parent class scope resolver. No. That's the only parent class. We don't want that. So I'm going to ditch this because we don't need that. One second. There's a key I'm going to be looking for. There we go. Attribute key, parent previous. Let's see what's in. Virtual node scope. Okay, so let's try this out. Let's say scope equals node get attribute key scope assert scope instance of mutating scope, which is there an interface to go off of, or is it just this is a implement scope? So let's just change this to be scope. So if we go to scope, this is the interface. Great. So we can work off of that. So scope. All right, let's just read the interface. So that's faster. Get file is in trait. We'll do that as a test. So we'll say test one equals scope is in trait. I think we can only get I think that reflection only returns something if we're in a trait. Get function name, get namespace, get parent scope, has variable type, has constant, is in anonymous function, resolve type by name, get type by value, is in class exists, get function type. All right, that doesn't really help out a lot, it looks like, but we'll do the debug again and hopefully get somewhere. All right, test one is false. We're not in a trait, And test 2 is null because, of course, we're not in a trait. So let's see scope context. No. Where was I that I saw function declaring class? Scope. Not resolve types. Was it here? Or was it actually in name attributes? No, it's not there. Original node attributes. No. Okay. So node, we have the scope. It doesn't seem to be there. Then attributes scope. Now I'm wishing I would screenshot it before. So scope context, class reflection. That's that. So scope factory, parser. This is the function. Declaring class is here. There we go. Crap and a half. How did I get to... get file description, get function. Let's restart it. Oops. Do the debug. All right, test 1. We got the reflection here. This is not going to get me where I want to go. Is this going to give me the original class that we're working in right now? So, all right, I need to remember how I got to this. So, name, the name identifier, attributes. Method node, this is example because that's what's calling it. The parent is the method call, which is pass. All right, so the method call, so name, but that's what we're at right now. We're in that method call right here. Scope factory. How did I find this? Dang. So name, attributes. Somehow I managed to find that statement where it said it came from the kernel test, from that trait. So next is the argument file. This is the sample, the method. That's the method that called it. The class node. That's here. Parent. That's exactly what we have inside of here. Current expression. Was it under current expression? No, because now we're just going further down the hole. Arguments. Nope. How did I get to there? So get function, Get function name, get the namespace. Let's try. Get file is declare. So this is the current scope for the file. Get type from value is specified, is in class exists. Get function type. What did I do? Or was it actually in the hold on. Was it actually in this parent scope resolver and I missed it the entire time? Here, we'll just try that. I'm going to rerun the test. Because maybe I am remembering wrong. All right. Test 3 is null because there's no namespace. Apparently, test 2 is the class name that we had. But what if... No, that's not going to be it. All right. Test 1, PHP method, declaring class, function like, throw is final variance, function variant with predoc, return real type, template type map. It's function like here. Where did, all right. No, this is the, hold on. Class method. Why is this name example? Is that the parent? All right, let's look at the parent class resolver. Maybe that didn't get anywhere. That's actually just empty. Node factory. Node type resolver. No. Wish there's a way to like rewind the live stream real quick on this end so I could figure out where I was or how whatever I saw. So the node name is not pass. So get attribute key the scope. Use nodes, method name, original node, comments, original name. I don't know how far it was. I was doing the xdebug and I found out where it said that the current method call of pass was defined in the Drupal kernel test. So I don't know where or how, and I keep going back through xdebug and I can't remember where I did it. It was a few minutes ago, maybe. Actually, let's delete all these tests. It was in the scope. I'm fairly certain it was inside the PHP stand scope. But node attributes, the current expression is a method call on pass. Maybe it's in the expression. No. Well, I'm not going to say no until that's its scope. Scope context. Yeah, I don't know what or how. Right. So the variable this and then identifier of pass. So we're calling pass, but I guess the problem is the context is still in pass. We need to like look that up. So if we need to get the identifier and let's look at that node. So let's try that. Let's get the scope from the name, because the identifier then, assert scope as instance of scope. Let's see. Node name. It's an identifier. Okay, so there's no scope. That's why it failed. So actually, I didn't think about that with the console. If I did, oh, why? It's not letting me there. The main thing, it's not so much test, it's just I need to figure out where I saw it in here. So if I go to name, then I go to attributes, the original node, that's not it. Parent, is the method call, which is what we're already looking at. Class node, method name, example. File, this is going to be the source file. Next, previous, current expression. And the expression is the method call. Let's look at its attributes. So that's the class name. Like, where and how did I see wish there's a way to just expand everything in search, but that would be a nightmare and a half. All right. The scope from that node, scope context. Methods pass. Oh. All right, hold on. All right, so the scope in the scope context. Scope context. So get file, this context, get file description. So inside the context, we need the class reflection. Now I've already lost it, which has the methods of pass and the declaring trait. All right. Let's get file description. So it's in the PHP send class reflection. Get trait reflection. What is this? For some reason, it used to always show file description. It used to always show like the name, like, or your path, like at the bottom. Enter, declare strict types. Is in class, is in trait. Get, okay, I guess get class reflection. Because the trait reflection is null. So test1 equals scope get class reflection. test2 get method of pass and scope. So test2 equals that. Let's rerun it. I feel like there's got to be a helper, probably. So test2 method reflection. All right, here we go. So test2 get declaring traits is internal. Let's look at some of these. So, all right. Jeez, this feels like such a mess. Test3 equals get declaring trait, and test4 equals test3. All right, let's clean this up. But let's rerun it and make sure test3 is the trait name. Test3 is the trait. All right. Let's clean this up. So we get the scope. We know the class reflection will always work. Pass reflection. Yeah. I think that will do it. I guess the problem is that this could return null, and then that will error out, but it should never return null. So we'll just do this. We'll do class reflection equals there. Assert class reflection is not equal to null, because it should not be. We'll do pass reflection. Sorry. Class reflection get method. Say trait or declaring trait equals pass reflection. Get declaring. Wait, whoa. Now, why are we here? Method reflection. Get declaring. So that returns an interface that may not be what we want. Because it could be method reflection and implement. So we need to make sure it's a PHP method reflection. All right. So if pass reflection. So if pass reflection is not an instance of PHP method reflection, return null. All right, let's rerun the test. And then I'm going to try to look inside of Rector to see if they have some helpers there. So declaring trait. So now we can call this the declaring trait. If declaring trait is equal to null, oh my word, return null. If declaring trait get display name, or let's see, declaring trait name, get name. refresh. All right, so if declaring name is equal to strict equals to blah, the assert legacy trait, remove the node. And actually, I guess all these return nulls should be maybe they should return the node. Node of match type. Of course, there's no real good. Yeah, we'll go that way. Remove the node, return the node. And let's step through it. So it still passes. Now the real test is to pass custom. So what we could do is, let's say, I'm assuming protected function pass overridden. It shouldn't modify it if we overrode it. At least that's what I'm assuming. So let's do an xdebug. Hopefully I kept it somewhere. So wait a second. What? Oh. I didn't update this. So it did work. Awesome. So if I run this, no. Public function example. Oh, because I have that indent there. Okay, I'm happy with this now. So somebody overrode the pass method, it won't rector it. I think that proves that if somebody had a function named pass, it's not going to override anything. And we probably need to copy this code into a lot of places. Specifically, anything inside assert legacy trait base. So let's see. I want to see if we can find usages of this inside rector. Nothing found. Get declaring trait. PHP method reflection. Huh? Analyzer. Callable this to array. Downgrade. Okay, there's nothing here. So I'm just going to do maybe make this a service. Definitely needed in assert legacy trait base. Yeah, I'm just going to put that to do because we need to at least get this merged and then we can work on it from there. So let's go ahead and I guess just push this up. So this duplicates a fix elsewhere, but that's fine. Like I know I made the fix in the other issue. The stubs. And 1 second. Do we have PHP CS running? Doesn't look like it, just PHP stand, which I may as well Run that. No errors. What level do we even have it running at? 1. Oh. So let's issue make pass rector more specific and fix documentation. So let's push that. I'm going to update the Drupal.org issue title to match that too. 5 errors in running. Yeah, that's fine. Ignore that. Ignore that. All right, commit and push anyway. Retitling as well, since the PR makes the code more specific when it runs. Let's do GitHub PR create. Copy the URL. Because if I were to click it, it opened Chrome because I have Chrome set for my default. Since I usually use Chrome for work, and that's what I'm usually clicking links. Add steps. This is the issue here. This is needs review. Copy the PR link. All right. This has the fix from. It has the auto load fix as well. So if this merges first, that one is not needed. All right, so that's all checking out. I wish you could let people like triage issues on GitHub. I just wish I could label things like, yes, I reviewed this or not. So I went through here. Let's tag this. Needs review. This fixes the auto load to only be on dev, which should fix Phpunit test runs for functional for browser test base. Needs review. Make sure I credit Palantir and save. Green, green, green. Love seeing the green. All right, let's go to the next issues. I'm glad we could solve this because I had no idea like why it was breaking their GitLab CI things or jobs, and it was just so hard to like guess and figure out why. So I'm glad we could finally fix that. Let's see. So these are all triage. Assert no unique test. Top 10. Let's do something fun. I want to do something fun. Well, I do these for about 2 hours, so I've got half an hour left. I want to do something fun. Like including Phpunit rector rules. Let's check this out. So let's look here. So these should be Phpunit. So set methods of class. All right. Well, this one I think could be just impossible to. Maybe not impossible. So let's get started. I'm going to assign it to me. I'm going to save it. We're going to do git checkout main. And let's do for projects. It's so weird. Why do so many projects extend test case base like itself? Let's go to let's make a branch. Get new branch, Phpunit rules. I don't even know if these are D9 related, but we'll just put them in D9 and people could add them to their own if they need. So let's go to config, Drupal 9. Let's say Phpunit. Let's do phpunit.php. And actually, I'm just going to copy paste this. So what we'll do here is this is going to register all of the Phpunit rules. So let's also container import, we'll say container configurator import directory Phpunit rules. So let's look at rector Phpunit under source rector. No, wait, config. Here we go. Sets. So we could import various sets. Use specific will mech, but so we could do some of these sets, but I think we'll just pick in some of the default ones, or at least we'll be specific about what we import. Sorry, words are not working out. So let's see, assert attribute not empty. Okay. What do you replace it with? Update test generated for PHP 9. There's no replacement. The course of action is to refactor your code. Do not require dirty tricks like this. Joy. So PHP 9.1. Let's see if we can look at. Let's look at what versions of code. Maybe we should just include the config set because this is just going to be a pain otherwise. So Phpunit, it's not there. Sebastian said that basically all these assert attributes and whatnot, or whatever all of these methods are just dirty hacks. Yeah. Ooh, what's this? Let's see. Sorry, I'm also just trying to see if Thomas did something for Rector, but it sounds like this was like a super controversial thing. Yeah. That's yeah, I don't know what these are, but they're actually being used. So right now, I'm trying to see what is the Phpunit 8 is the default. I thought we support 9 too. Maybe it's all depends on what version we're on. So let's at least include 8. So add param type. Mock object. Okay, so this will fix the void types. So let's go ahead and go to the README. What is DMS? Replace assert array with DMS polyfill. Oh, okay. We don't have that. PHP Unix. We don't have that. So let's go to get.drupal.org. So 9.2.x is the default branch, and Phpunit is at 8.5 or 9. So I guess that's the one problem. Like, what if people don't have 9.0, 9.0 yet? So I guess we'll have to. This can't be fixed. Maybe this one can. So again, I'm not sure if I want to do the config set because we don't know. I guess we know people will be on 8 at least as a minimum. Because if we go to 9.0, well, also, we've always told people you need to be at the latest minor version, but it's just harder with Drupal 9 because it's not, forced yet to be on 9.4 or whatever else. But we can at least assume Phpunit 8.4. What was 8.9? Where's 8.9? PHP 8.9 supported Phpunit 6 and 7. I think it's safe to support, let's see what's 6, config unit 6, create mock builder is git mock builder. Yeah, if there's no replacement, you need to move off of it, but I'm trying to think of I moved past that method. Now I'm just trying to make sure we add just the right config sets. I went down a rabbit hole that couldn't be fixed, basically. So 70, configure all the annotation scenario to test. Five. Sorry, there's something on my wall. So 7.5 with consecutive arg to array iterator. Oh, with consecutive, that's looks fine. And then we'll need 8. To do, should we include Phpunit 9 or 9? No, or wait, hold on. I know what we could do. Is maybe we should just import these into the 9.0, 9.1, 9.2, 9.3. It just feels so kind of conflicted, but not. So let's go to here. So I wonder if we should be putting these in the Drupal 8 as well. We'll just start with 9. But people are still on 8. I hate having to make decisions, as you can tell. All right, 8.9. There's no all in here, or there's no. So let's make a phpunit.php. We're going to solve some of the problems with this. So 8.9 supports Phpunit 6.5 and any 7. So these need to go here. And Drupal 8 all deprecations will include that. I think that's good to do. And then for Drupal 9, we'll include this one. So maybe we should do configurator import directory Drupal 8. And we'll make a note, import deprecation, import rector rules, import Phpunit rector rules from Drupal 8 as well. Since just say that. So 9 9.0 added Phpunit 8.4. So maybe we should just add that into here. That's the thing I'm trying to figure out, is like when to add these, based off of going through, because we include everything for 9.3, but 9.3 has nothing because it wasn't released. There's got to be a smarter way to do this. So I'm just trying to think through. Okay, that was the right README for Phpunit. Support. So what we could do is, if there's a way to check the Phpunit version, I think, and maybe that's what we have to do. So that could be what? If we go to test compatibility trait, that's not it. Core test, Drupal test tools, Phpunit compatibility, runner version. All right. So let's do. So let's copy that. So we could say if class exists, so if that class exists, we'll go here. Version. .5. So in this, it does. Phpunit version info. To explode that, we could simplify this. If I'm just worried I'm trying to be too creative here, for PHP 8 or for Drupal 8. So we'll bail on that. I'm gonna go for simple, and then we'll fix on bug errors or bug reports. So Drupal, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. There's this Drupal 8. We're gonna include these, and maybe instead of including another file, we'll just import them here and delete this. We'll do the same here. So Drupal 9.0 came out the gate with Phpunit 8.4. So 9.0, we're going to include the 8.0 refactorings. And delete this file and remove that change. So let's look at 9.1. 9.1 supports Phpunit 8.4 or 9. So I guess this is the trickier part, is people may not have this added on here yet. Let's see, where's this come from? That's 9.0. So I guess we'll just have to add it. Yeah, because with 9.1 is when we allowed it. So let's just do it. So container configurator import PHP unit config list. Don't even remember. Set list. Oh, and it was just a blind upper constraint 2 on the major version. So I don't know when 9.1 came out. Let's look at 9.2. Yeah, this was never adjusted. It just is allowing people to use 9. So we'll add it to 9.2. Why not? 9.1, because what does this fix? Assert, do those things. Assert is not writable. But let's look at assert expect. So this would be fixed in 9.0. Or for the 9.0 config set, contains. That's 8.0, which would be fixed with here. Read attribute, those can't be fixed. Assert internal type. That's fixed in 8.0. This is not showing up. So maybe that'll have to be a manual one. Set methods. That's not showing up either. But whenever there's like a pull request mentioned or something, I don't know. That should fix a handful, I hope. All right, so Drupal 8 deprecations. I feel like we should just copy those into Drupal 9 too. And let's put them before. Sure, we'll put it after. It's just, I don't know. I figure like if they're on 8, they had to fix this at least already. So there's no reason to include that because they would have had to fix it already to be able to get onto Drupal 9. Otherwise, their test wouldn't work. So they can manually include it if they want to in their config. Let's go ahead and issue number, include rector PHP unit config lists. Config set lists for deprecated code fixes. Let's do push and create the pull request. Copy the URL. Not sure how we should handle reporting these fixes, which I don't really know how we should report those fixes. Total affected. I don't know if that's some. I guess maybe upgrade status could talk about this, or the category wouldn't count it. I don't know. Edit. Adds rectors PHP unit rules so that deprecated PHP unit stuff is fixed. Let's see. I love where my brain goes with words towards the end of this. Is it's just giving up. Like, yep, stuff is fixed. All right, so that needs review. And let's go ahead and add this. So this will, let's work on this one. It's similar. It's adding support for, okay, 9.1 was 2 months after 9. Oh, Phpunit so fast. All right, well, I just stuck it with the 9.2 config, and by default, Rector just runs everything. So so that's one thing, is when you use Rector, drupal-rector, it's assuming that you're running code against the current, like the latest minor version, as well. So I wonder if we'll need to be cautious of that with Rector. No, I guess that's how it was in Drupal 8 too. It just was, going along with the flow, and assumed if you're using it, you're using the latest minor version. We can only make so many assumptions. So let's add the Symphony rules real quick before I head out. So Symphony rules. So again, it's like the same one. So Symphony 4.3 rules would fix a whole bunch of stuff. Again, let's just figure out where we want to add it. So if we go to 9.0 and the composer.json, which is probably actually inside of core itself. Yeah. When I say core itself, I mean like the core subtree. Oh, my keyboard's going to die. Composer.json. Symphony. All right, for 9.0, it was all 4. So if we open here, we can do Symphony, readme, copy. Symphony set list. So 4.3 actually handles all these wild renames. 4.4 is just for Symphony console, but the real kicker should be, all right, so Drupal 9 is 4.4, 8.9 is 3.4. So, that means we should probably include every config set for Symphony 4. Yeah, that makes sense, I think. I think that makes sense. Yeah, that should make sense. The reason why I was confused is like, well, you would have, yeah, because these were deprecated in Symphony 4. We're using Symphony 4 right now, so in 5 they'll be gone. Yeah, which is why Drupal 8 is end of lifing, because Symphony 3 will be end of life, and Symphony 5 is coming out for Drupal 10. Something like that. Don't quote me on anything right now, because I think that's right, but my brain is my brain right now. So 4.4. So I think this would be good enough just to have the 4.4 fixes and the 9.0 deprecations, because we came out the gate requiring 4.4. And everything for 5 would be inside of Drupal 10. So we can go ahead and commit this. Symphony. That was a nice, quick little fix. That should have high impact as well. And tomorrow I will work with Ken and Gabor to sort these out. adds all of the Symphony 4 deprecation rules. Rector rules or deprecated code. All right. Let's copy the pull request. Mark this as needs review. Take it there. Bing, bang, boom. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Sorry I missed last week. Blame the weather. I will be back at it on Friday. I'm doing another live stream. I'm debating what I'm going to do. I was working on PHP 8 readiness inside PHP Stand, but that really hurts my brain. So I think I might try to do something fun. Like I'm working on improving the fly system module. So fly system is a library from the PHP League that makes it easy to work with different file systems like object storage or SFTP. And the Drupal module needs love, and it also needs to be upgraded for version 2 of the fly system library. So I might work on that, or I'm going to keep on with the PHP stand. So that way PHP stand can detect invalid PHP 8 code. It's just, it hurts my head a lot when working on it. So I'm going to decide what I'll do, but I'll post it on the Twitters or follow me on here. So, oh, cool. So you do catch you first one live and you watch the replays on YouTube. Cool. I make sure to export them like 2 or 3 days later, since I am on the Twitch affiliate. It needs to stay here for 24 hours. And then I dump them over to YouTube when I can. One day I'm going to start actually recording them and not just doing the Twitch export, so that way they're a higher quality on YouTube. It's just, I'm a person that's juggling way too many things on his own fault and forgetful. So, thanks for tuning in. Had a blast, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.